Once upon a time, there was a B-24 Liberator nicknamed Trouble. The men who flew on Trouble became close friends, and this story is about their early missions and that fateful mission on January 7th, 1944. There were 11 men who began the mission on Trouble, but only one would return, and that one would have to face many near-death experiences on his journey home. In his own words, Robert Sweatt will tell you a little about the story, but there is much more to read.
How many missions did you fly?
I flew 17, but it took me a long time to get back on that 17th one. About 3 months.
16 and a half.
16 and a half.
Yeah.
As this pilot once said, he said, I have more takeoffs than I do landings. To be frank with you, no, not really, because I didn't think I was ever going to be shut down. That's stupid to say that, but you know, you just feel like it's not going to happen.
What was the toughest time of it all for you?
Goodness, I don't know.
I'm thinking maybe that first afternoon. When you
That would have been the getting on the ground. That's you know that. Well, you've flown a lot. You can imagine stepping out up there at. If you're parachuted, you ever parachute out? I've asked myself many times flying in the States. You know, I'd be sitting back. A lot of times we in El Paso, I'd sit at the back. They had a big old escape hatch at the back. It's about 3 feet wide and about 4 feet long that you bail out, you know. You lift it up. I'd sit back there and hang my feet out in the slipstream and mark the bombs where the bombs were hitting for the bombardier in Alma Garden, New Mexico, you know. And I've looked down at black dark. You know, I wasn't very smart. Goodness, anybody didn't even have a parachute on sitting back there. Their feet, I don't know. People, you know, you don't have any sense when you're that age. And I've asked myself many times, man, would I have the guts to step out of this thing? You know, I don't know. I know one time I never started flying in Tucson. I was flying with Lieutenant Lacey, and we spent all afternoon. I think we got up to around 35,000 feet. It's about all that thing would go over the Grand Canyon. And I know boys, Claire and I, we were in the back there, and it was cold, you know. We was looking out, number 4 engine started windmilling, feathered it. And, you know, I kind of shook my head. Number 3 engine started windmilling, feathered it. Boy, we picked up our chutes and rode to the other side, you know. Here, number 2 started windmilling, and they feathered it. And they feathered number 1. And, boy, I mean, that old plane, she just came down at about a 45, just nosed over and started down. I was talking to the radio operator later, and he said Lacey was scared to death. Said, you were never supposed to feather 4 engines. He feathered all 4 engines of that B-24. We were way up there. But, boy, I don't know how far he fell. We must come down to 20,000 feet before he got those things running. But I tell you, then I would have gone out. I knew something was going to happen.
I need to pause here for a minute before you begin.
We're running? Mm-hmm. I'd like to go back to that afternoon again. It seems like maybe that was in some ways a low point for you there. You grew up on a farm?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Had you been cold before?
Oh, goodness, yes. I used to, it was 3 miles to the mailbox, and I'd ride a horse over there and with just a little old shirt on, that north wind blowing 50 miles an hour and ice cold. And I guess, I don't like to use the word, but I guess I was kind of tough. Because a lot of times I'd stay all night out in the pasture, you know, just, you know, I was a cowboy is what I wanted to be. Yeah, I had a kind of a rugged life out there.
And had you been hurt before?
No, not really. Of course, I've been thrown off of calves and horses and everything else, but
Never been shot before, though.
oh no, no. But as I was telling you before, no, I didn't hurt any that afternoon. Now maybe I was, well, I don't know why.
Shock,
Shock. I think you're right. I'm sure I was in shock. There was no pain. Now there was cold. Absolutely, I was miserable. But as far as anything hurting, I didn't have any hurt that I could remember.
Depressed?
Probably, yes.
Remember feeling angry at the world? Or
No, not really angry. I guess all I thought about is going to sleep. I was real sleepy. And, of course, getting warm. I thought I'd never get warm.
Did you go to sleep?
I did after I went up. You know, I told you I went upstairs, went to bed. I don't remember anything. I think it's about 2 or 3 days there. That all I remember, I would wake up, there'd be people around my bed talking. Then I'd just pass out again.
So you
And-
knew what it was like to be cold, though. You'd experienced that before.
Yes, I've been in 60 below zero cold over there flying, but it's nothing compared to that on the ground.
Okay.
You know, when I was out there in that covered up with those leaves, it was just ice everywhere. And
If suffering as you were, and the sun's going down, it's beginning to get really cold now, I imagine. If the first car that pulled along down there had not been the Frenchman you'd seen before, but had a different symbol on the door, you don't think you'd have given yourself up?
no, I don't think so. No, I would. I don't think I'd ever give myself up.
Sit up there
If
and
I'd have
freeze.
had to crawl to somewhere, I would have. But what I was wanting to do is, if dark would come, then I was going to get up and start walking. You know, find someplace. Well, it's really frightening when you can't get up, and that really hit me hard then. I knew I was in trouble.
Had you heard any stories about what it would be like if you became a prisoner of war?
Yes, I had.
What did you
Oh goodness, pull their fingernails out and starve to death and eating rats and yeah, I mean, well, you know, what's his name? Where he just came from Florida, Georgia. There, he told me he had to eat rats. Paul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Paul had to. He said it's horrible, but he did.
Yeah.
And I do think living in New Mexico out there, of course, because I told people all I did for 18 years is ride steers and throw rocks at the moon. That's about all there was to do. But I think it did help being out there because, you know, I ran all the time, goodness. And some of these boys that raised in town, they couldn't take it very well.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I did. I had 4 sisters and 1 brother.
But you spent a lot of time by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So, no fear came from just suddenly no crew, no friends, no American. I mean, you were the only American.
Well, of course, I didn't know I was the only one, but I did later. This Yvonne Dupont, she was about my age, real nice lady, or young girl. She talked to me quite a bit. She told me that, she said I picked about this is years later, I went back over there. She said she picked about 100 pieces of shrapnel or something out of my face. It just festered all up. I don't know, something must have exploded. Why it didn't get my eyes, I don't know. But she said she'd picked it out. And I do remember having little places, sores they could be all around my face and my forehead. She said it's little pieces of steel, so I have no idea how it got there. But
All of this time that you were in Paris and traveling around there, you weren't experiencing severe pain any of that time?
oh no,
These ones?
no, I had no pain.
Really?
Well, it seems like I had a bullet here through here. It was kind of sore, but no, I didn't have any pain really.
One tough dude.
Well, I don't know.
Just walking around with everything hanging loose here.
In the book, discover details of some of the early missions with a crew of Trouble and some of the antics of young men in the USAAF during World War II. Learn about the men and their courage. Experience the fear of falling 4 miles and solving acute health issues while evading German soldiers. Accompany Robert on his travels through France on his way to the House of Alphonse. Meet so many brave people who helped Robert escape. Walk through a minefield on a moonless night and climb down 240 feet to the shore. And finally, experience the thrill of reaching safety and later finding the love of your life by accident.